What's up, narcoleptic?
What's up, Squirple Durple?
I
Friend of the deer?
know. Well, we'll get to that. But we were supposed to record last night because we haven't recorded in weeks because you were gone. And then we hung out earlier in the day and you were like, okay, text me in a little bit when we're going to record. So there I go texting you. Then I wait an hour. Then I wait an hour. Then I wait an hour. Oh, you just never fucking answer.
I fell asleep and I didn't wake up.
You fell asleep at 9.
I put my alarm on, but I slept through my alarm. The mistake was right before I took my nap, I drank some NyQuil.
When you knew we were supposed to record and then you didn't text me and say, hey, there's a possibility that we're not going to record. So, like, go do whatever you want to do. Don't just sit there and wait for me.
I thought I would wake up.
You're a psycho. You need a house phone, first of all. I was going crazy in the Patreon chat. I'm like, what can we get? Like, you need a loud ass kitchen phone, like an old lady, so I can call you and it can ring out loud and with an answering machine so that if it goes through, I can be like, Tenney!
All of this I agree with.
I know. How can we get you one?
I don't know. We have to figure out how to get me a landline.
You need a landline because I can't do this anymore. I can't.
I would love a landline. Then I can get rid of the cell phone.
Yeah, literally. And you don't have to charge it. And it'll just be like, oh, I can actually fucking call you. And you can hear it through your whole house.
This sounds like the best idea you've ever had.
I know. People in the Patreon last night were like ready to crowdfund you fucking phone, a fucking speaker in your house, walkie-talkies for us. I'm like, we already have walkie-talkies. He don't fucking charge anything. It can't be a chargeable thing.
My walkie-talkie is charged.
Okay, well, they didn't really work that good anyway because they're not long enough. But anyway. The phone will be the walkie-talkie. The house phone will be the walkie-talkie. And you could get like a cool whatever.
No, I have a rotary phone that's set up to use with like a VoIP line.
Okay, that's what we need. But you need an answering machine too.
I would love it.
Okay, well, that's your new thing to do. And then we can post a funny picture on our Instagram of your stupid old phone. So you
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I've finally gotten everybody to realize that I'm an old man and I need old man technology.
Yeah, I don't know why we ever broke shit fixed stuff that wasn't broken.
House phones were not broken.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like whatever.
You know what else people don't remember too? Because now if you get a landline, it runs through your internet and your cable TV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that if your internet goes down, your phone goes down. But if people remember back in the day, your phone line was completely separate and in a blackout, you could call people.
Yeah, it was a different line. That's what I was thinking last night. I'm like, okay, how could we get him a house phone? And then somebody's like, oh, I have an old, regular phone he could have. I'm like, I don't even know if they have phone lines anymore.
They don't, but I have one that's hooked up that I can plug into a router.
Okay, let's literally do that.
Yes.
And then I'll call you when I need you. Because people are like, oh, why don't you go over there? I'm like, I'm not fucking going over there. What do I play this once a week? I'm not doing this. He never fucking answers this shit. I'm sure he's alive. One of these times he's not gonna be. And I'm not gonna, it's gonna be your cry wolf situation where you do this all the time. And then when you finally need me, nobody's gonna come.
That's fine. Gotta go out sometime. No matter what you do, you go out alone anyway.
But anyway, that leads into, I was fucking fuming. So I'm like, I need to walk. And I saw a deer. We live in a very populated, like, housey area. We don't live in the woods. And the other day, just walking across the street, I saw a deer. So then last night, I went to walk off my anger and I saw 2 deers right outside my house. And
2 deer.
I like calling them deers because it's cuter. But there's a baby and there's a mom, but the mom has a limp. So now I don't know what to do. But they were cute. And we saw a bunny. And somebody had their Christmas lights up already because it was warm yesterday. So all that together, I was like, this is a very nice walk. I feel more calm now. And then at 1:30 in the morning, I realized I had told you I didn't mail my ballot in. I had an absentee ballot and I didn't mail it in. And I didn't feel like going today. So I literally went last night at 1:30 in the morning, went to 7-Eleven, got a hot chocolate, put the dog in the car. We drove to City Hall, drove to the P.O. box and checked the P.O. box. And then I drove back here and it was really cozy. I didn't see like one other human being alive. It was so cute.
And you dropped your ballot off?
Yeah.
I just walked up to the church, walked in, voted, and walked home. It took me less than 10 minutes.
Well, they changed my polling location and it's annoying and I don't feel like going to my new one. So I'm just going to vote absentee, but I had to bring it there because I waited too long. And that was the thing when we got on Zoom last night, you were supposed to tell me people's platforms so I could vote better. And then you didn't come. And then I'm like, great. And then I had to look up everybody singularly and fill out my ballot. And then I had to go there. But anyway, all that's done now.
Good work, buddy.
Yeah, it was chaotic. Man, my whole day's been chaotic too. I've been on my blood pressure. I need help. I need an assistant. I need you to help me with shit more. I'm flipping out.
Just tell me. You make too much work for yourself.
I know.
You don't need to do it.
I have a million things to do every day, and if they didn't get done,
everything would be fine.
No, nothing that we do would be done.
It would be fine.
No, just so you guys know, we have some exciting stuff coming up in our Patreon. Some contests, giveaways, and a trip to hang out with us at a famous haunted location.
No shit.
And it's going to go live in the Patreon first, and it's going to sell out. I know it is. So if you want to go with us, you better get in the Patreon because it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, geez. Do I have to go?
Yeah, you have to go.
Oh, okay.
You named it.
Oh, that's what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you created another new thing that we needed to have created.
Hey, you never know. Anyway, so we've been gone for so long because you went to the UK to be a spook lord.
I did go to England. Finally got there.
I know.
Where's your sound?
Well, it's got to be something different what they have there. I got to do a Big Ben sound. I don't know how.
Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong.
That's our raver noise for the UK. Anyway, but you didn't talk to me at all. You literally, I talked to you like twice.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, let's go through it.
You were there. I wasn't there.
Let me begin with the trip over.
Okay.
It was absolutely fine. All flights went smoothly, but what I wanted to discuss was the girl sitting in the row next to me.
I don't know anything about this.
Nope. I will preface all of this by saying I am a long-term supporter of K-pop. I have loved Korean pop music for 30 years, all the way back to Panic, Lee Juk, Drunken Tiger, all the way up to Yoonha, Hot H.O.T., High Five of Teenagers. I am on board. This girl next to me on the plane for 7.5 hours on her phone just watched clips of Korean boy bands dancing for 7 hours.
Well, did she at least have the sound off?
She had her headphones in.
Oh, that's good.
But not even watching like 5-minute clips, like watching 30-second TikTok clips of them dancing for 7 hours. I fell asleep and woke up and she was still watching them.
That's what people do now. That's why I don't understand why people are making long form anything, because people would need their information in 0.05 seconds.
I just couldn't believe, like, what is that attention span of watching like 20-second clips for 7 hours?
I don't know.
It was crazy. That blew my
I thought
mind.
you were gonna say that some famous K-pop person was next to you, and then it
No.
was like somebody tweaking out on videos.
No, not at all. And my plane over, here's another mistake I made. My plane over was only like half full, so there were a ton of seats to stretch out in.
Mm-hmm.
But like as soon as I got on the plane, I fell asleep. So when I woke up, everybody had taken all the extra seats. So I was stuck in my single seat for the entire flight. And it was a bummer.
Wow.
Then I got to England and it was sunny and I was mad because when you go to England, you want it to be rainy and depressed, and it wasn't. It was wonderful and nice when I got there. And the first place I went was this place called Henley on Arden, just tiny little town outside of where Shakespeare's from.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed in a hotel that was built, I think, originally in the 1200s.
Jeez.
And it's so crazy because the buildings are like literally kind of falling apart, but you can't fix them because they're all historic monuments.
Yeah, you said everything's like brick, and if you like just started, then the whole thing will fall down or something.
Yeah, and the roofs are covered with like 300-year-old moss.
Nice.
And it's like they got to be leaking.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the first time I called you when I was in Henley, because I had transferred all my money into my Venmo account and then got to England and realized that there's no Venmo in England.
Yeah, you had me move money for you twice and didn't even say thank you. And then you just pieced out and then didn't talk to me at all. I'm like, okay, cool. I thought I'm just your personal assistant. I'm not even your fucking friend. That's cool. Cool. It's fucking cool.
Didn't know you're supposed to say thank you for being my friend.
You could say thanks after somebody does something nice for you.
Thanks.
But you did send me a picture outside of I'm probably skipping ahead, but you sent me a picture outside of the American Werewolf in London apartment. And then I thought we were friends again after that.
That was days later.
I know. But go ahead. Go back to whatever.
That I was in Henley for a couple days. Then I went to Combe Abbey, which is an old abbey that was built like in the 1100s and has been built and rebuilt for hundreds of years. And that was where Sage Paracon was, and all the speakers were there. And I got to eat beans for breakfast every morning.
Ugh.
Don't you, doesn't everybody want beans for breakfast every
I don't
morning?
know. No.
But I was happy because guess what they have in England? Because you travel around, you don't know what people are going to have available for you and what they're not going to have available for you. England is full of ginger ale.
Oh, nice.
Got to have ginger ale and vodkas when I was there.
I like how this whole episode is like, Tenney needs a house phone. Tenney likes ginger ale.
Yeah.
You're like 100.
I was very excited.
I thought you were going to say, well, the other cute thing you told me about is that I still can't get over is they have like medical boxes, medical little phone booths on the side of the road.
Yeah. In Henley, there's they look like porta potties, but it's got like medical supplies and a defibrillator in it in case somebody like starts to have a medical incident just on the street. And they're not cracked open and people aren't sleeping in them and they're not tipped over.
That's so cute. I like just nice thoughts. Like, maybe no one will need this, but just in case you do, like, that's so nice.
Yeah. Oh, and before I got to Combe Abbey, I went to the Rollright Stones, which was the stone circle that I wanted to see and has been featured in an episode of Doctor Who. That's another reason that I was kind of loving to go there.
Cute.
But giant stones, got to touch them, got to look through them, got to talk to them, did little Tenney magic while I was there. Never got to do magic inside a stone circle before. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then at the Sage Paracon, there was all sorts of stuff. There was like a costume party and lectures and dinners and musical theater.
Cute.
So there was like a ton to do. And everybody was so nice.
Mm-hmm.
But you and I have had this discussion off episode.
Mm-hmm.
I have watched British television since I was a kid. I started watching Monty Python and Benny Hill when I was like 6 or 7. So I've always thought I'm really good with accents and understanding them. I was wrong. There are some people whose accents are beyond my ear.
I know you told me that, and then I was like, I feel like from watching the fights every weekend and watching their interviews and their post-fight interviews, like they all talk crazy, they all have different accents, and I'm like everywhere, and I can always tell what they're saying, but you're like, oh no.
Oh no. There was one person there, and I think he was from Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And literally sounded like he was just going like flip flop flip flop flop flip flop.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was very difficult to understand him. Nice guy, great.
Yeah, there's a like extremely handsome Scottish fighter in the UFC, and I feel like after every time he does like a post-fight interview, people on Twitter are like, did anybody catch any of that? And in my head, I'm like, yeah, I literally heard every word he said. Why can't y'all hear words? It's weird.
It's so much different in person. I was humbled.
Yeah, especially if they're hot, I would be like just like not listening. I'd be like, you're so hot, and then I wouldn't be able to listen.
Well, that's the other thing I told you too, that you and I couldn't survive in UK because everybody is weird, hot looking.
Yeah, that's my shit. That's why I feel weird when people give me shit for thinking Barry Keoghan's hot, and I just like when people look slightly like they're gonna kill you and something is wrong with their face. Like they're not traditionally hot, and it makes you feel weird when you look at them. Like, that's so hot.
Yeah, there were guys when I got to London, there was like 4 plumbers working on a building. And I was like, each one of these guys is like an American 11.
I would flip out. That's so funny.
And they all, I think I told you this too. Every guy that's hanging out looks like they probably have been a UFC fighter at some point, or they just want to get in a fight with you right now.
So good. I know the mix of that, people being weird hot plus the accent, like me and you would have real issues.
Yeah. And there were a lot of, I told you this, there were a lot of cow-eyed girls there.
Yeah, me and you both like when people have cow eyes, like, and way too far apart eyeballs.
Yes.
That's our secret thing that we love.
Indeed. And then after Sage was done, that was like 4 days and just hanging out with people. And we did cool experiments. I did like remote viewing experiments with people. And I taught people how to spirit draw, and like it was really cool. I did a whole bunch of weird stuff that I never do with people because I was in England, so I wanted to do weird stuff that I don't normally do, and I'm probably going to start doing it now at other events because it went over so well and it worked super crazy well.
I love that.
And so then everybody else left, but I had a couple extra days. So did Calvin Von Crush, who was one of the speakers there. And so Calvin and I went to London. I got a little apartment, like a little basement hotel room, which ended up being like $75 a night.
That's so crazy.
Crazy.
You would stay in a hole here for $75. Not even, you could just, nothing is available for that much.
You can't get like a Super 8 or a Red Roof Inn for $75 a night.
No, you can't. No, they're like $150 now. And a regular hotels that used to be $70 are now $200, and they're not nice.
Yeah, you could get a Red Roof Inn hotel for $75, but they'll be like, yeah, but it's not clean and the door doesn't lock.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I got there and I went to the little vegetable market and bought a bunch of fruits and vegetables and water and put it back in my room. And then I started wandering London. It was just so crazy to walk out my door. And when I went to the American Werewolf in London house, I brought up my UK map of places that I wanted to go. And it was 4 blocks away from where I was staying.
Dang.
So I just went to Starbucks, got a coffee, and then walked to the American Werewolf in London house.
That makes me so jealous.
It was crazy.
I know all the cute, like, and you made a Patreon video, which fucking applause, hold for applause, everybody. And it's so freaking cute and everybody loved it. So, but you had told me about all this stuff and it's like, there's only so much I can visualize because I've never been there. And just the facade of like every single place that you went to, every street, everything just looks so charming. I'm really jealous.
And I knew I was in the right place. Like when I saw that the American Wolf in London house was 4 blocks away, I go to walk to the Starbucks because I'm like, I might as well walk there. I go to walk to the Starbucks and there's a Doctor Who phone booth. And I was like, oh, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, I saw it in your video. Well, not only your Patreon video, but when you Marco Polo'd me one time and you didn't even mention it, it was like in the background. And I'm like, wait. And for a brief moment, I was like, wait, do all phone booths look like that? But then I was like, oh no, that was a Doctor Who one.
And it was just crazy. So then, yeah, I wandered around. Oh, and then my mind was blowing because like, as I was walking, I was like, oh, there's a Kentucky Fried Chicken. I can probably get mashed potatoes. And so like I walked and it was like, oh, they don't have mashed potatoes. They have French fries and chips, but they have a full vegan menu. And I was like, what is this? And then there was a McDonald's across the street from that had a full vegan menu. And I was like, what is going on in England?
That's so not fair. You said they had stuff everywhere. And we were talking about how everything here is poison and has crazy ingredients in it. And they'll feed us anything. And then you go over there and they have all the bad stuff taken out. And like there's certain fast food, like that's why they didn't have mashed potatoes, because it's not real food. And we can get it here and it's probably like dust and water. Yeah.
And when I was at the vegetable store, like I walked in and bought vegetables and fruits. And I walked up to the lady because they didn't have any bread. And I was like, where can I get bread? And she's like, oh, there's a patisserie across the street. They make it fresh every day. And I was like, oh. So I walked across the street and bought a fresh loaf of bread for $2.
Yeah, now we have bread here that won't mold for like 4 weeks because it's not bread.
You can leave it outside and squirrels sit on it.
Yeah.
They're like, this isn't food, it's a couch.
I'm sure I'm skipping ahead again too, but you got super sick and you're still not better. But tell them about how you looked for cold medicine.
Oh yeah, I'm looking for cold medicine and they have like not even real medicine. It's like vitamins. It's like cold vitamins and like tea vitamins and stuff like, and I was like, what is this? So I asked the guy at the pharmacy, I was like, where can I get like cold medicine? He's like, oh, we have all these vitamin stuff here. And I was like, no, like I have a cold and I'm from America and I need like decongestant and NyQuil and stuff. And he was like, oh, when we get sick here, we just go to the doctor.
And you were like, wah,
wah. Like universal health care.
Doctors, how do they work?
How do they work? You go to the doctor and you get a shot, then you go home.
Oh, that makes
Instead of taking 9 days off work and laying on your couch drinking NyQuil.
Yeah, we have 2 aisles of fucking cold medicine here and they have none because they just go, literally wait for it. They go to the doctor.
Amazing. Imagine that.
Holy shit. What a luxury.
So then one of the days that I was in London, I was like, well, I want to go to the British Museum. And I looked and it was like 3 miles away. And I was like, well, I got nothing else to do. So I just started walking. And then as I was walking, I'm like passing the Albert and Victoria Hall and the Royal Academy of Arts and Sciences and just these giant, there's Harrods of London. And then I was like, oh, now I'm in like downtown Soho, the theater district. And there's just like theaters everywhere with plays going on. I was like, what is this world? This is just like absolutely insane. And then I was like, oh, like here comes a double-decker bus that says it's going to the British Museum. So you tap to pay for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I tapped and got on the bus and took the bus to the British Museum, and it dropped me off. I got something to eat. And before I went in, I realized that like the Atlantis bookstore and Treadwell's, which are two of the oldest occult bookstores in the world, are like 2 blocks away from the British Museum.
We'll say to the thing you said about how they won't charge you too much for public transit in one day.
Well, I'm getting that. So
okay.
like, let me come around to it.
Sorry.
Then I went to the British Museum and like you just walk in.
That's free?
It's free.
Oh my God.
So you just walk in and then literally on the first floor you walk over and like there's the Rosetta Stone.
That's insane.
And then I'm like looking at like Egyptian sarcophaguses and giant like statues that were stolen from Egypt many years ago and brought to the British Museum because most of the stuff there is stolen from somewhere.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I want to see John Dee's magical stuff. And so I literally just walked over to a desk and I was like, where's John Dee's magical stuff? And they were like, it's in that room over there. So then I just walked over there and like it's just crazy. Like everything was just there and in the open and for free.
And to think about like here we have like Egyptian stuff, we have dinosaurs, we have paintings, but we don't have like in a regular public funded art museum, we don't have an occult section that's just like fine with everybody.
Yeah. Then it's just there.
That's crazy. I love that.
So weird. Yeah. And then the other thing, so I looked around there and I walked out and then I was like, oh, the Senate House is near here. The Senate House is this library and the ghost hunter Harry Price, all of his archives are there. And so like I walked in and just walked into this huge library and went up to the 4th floor and I walked out and I was like, yeah, you have the Harry Price archives here and I'm from the United States and I wondered if I could see them. And they were like, oh, the archivist isn't here. Like, you should call ahead and make an appointment for later this week. And I was like, oh. And I'm like, do I need a membership or anything? They're like, no, just call.
Did you get to go?
No, because that was the day I was leaving or the day before I was leaving. But again, it's one of those things where it's like historical archives that you can go and touch and see of stuff that I'm super fucking interested in. And how much does it cost me? Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
Oh, and the night before that, Calvin and I, there was a spooky soiree, and Calvin and I went to the College for Psychic Studies, which is a psychical college in England that's been there for 110 years. And they had their whole archives opened up, and they had like cases of spirit trumpets and psychic slate boards and planchettes and Ouija boards and, you know, mummler photos of ghosts. And each room was filled with like, instead of music, they were using recordings from the 1920s and 30s of people channeling spirits in every room. So you could hear people like talking to spirits in the rooms. And it was insane. Rooms full of spirit paintings and spirit drawings. And then their library on the 1st floor, my mind exploded. So many books that I will never own that are just sitting there available to be read when you want to.
Dang.
It was amazing.
I want to go there. That place looks so sick. You showed quite a bit of it in our Patreon video, but it looked nuts.
So amazing. So then I realized when I took the bus back home, I was like, oh, I don't know how much they're charging me for the bus because I'm just tapping my card. I'm not even paying attention to it. And so I got back to the hotel room and started researching it. And when you ride public transit, like it's $1.20 and it's unlimited if you keep using it within the hour. And then like if you use it throughout the day, it eventually gets to like, I can't remember what the exact number is now, but it's like $8. And then it maxes out and it doesn't charge you anymore and you can keep riding.
That's so crazy. They would never have that here.
No. So eventually you hit hit a maximum charge for the day. And then they have like a maximum charge for the week, for the month, and for the year.
Yeah, like if it's something you have to do every day to work, like there should be a cutoff.
You think of all the people who like in the United States have to take a bus to get to work, and every day they got to shell out like $20 to get back and forth to work.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. Like when I drive long distance, when I go to New York or I go to Chicago, like you hit so many tolls. I've spent like $60 in tolls before to drive to New York. That's insane. Like why? What are we doing?
Yeah, I took the train from my hotel in London to Heathrow Airport, and the train ride cost me $12 to get from the airport to my hotel room. And then when I got back to the United States to get from the Detroit airport to my house, it cost me $60 in an Uber.
It's the worst.
It was, I was like, what is American exceptionalism is not exceptional.
No, literally every single topic you brought up sounded better than here. Everything that you ever talked about.
I mean, I'm sure if you stay there longer, you see the cracks and the faults and the flaws and stuff. But being there for a week, I was like, this is pretty great.
I know, me and you were both like, well, let's just sell our houses and leave.
There was a moment where everybody was in Henley the first day that I was there, and we went out to get drinks, and we would just walk to this place. So we were staying in a place called the White Swan, and down the street is a pub called the Black Swan.
Ew.
Yeah, so we went down to the Black Swan, and everybody was having drinks, and I went and there's a little smoking section outside and picnic tables to sit at and stuff. And I was sitting outside and the sun is shining and I'm sitting at a picnic table, smoking my cigarette, drinking my drink. And I like look over the fence and there's just a farm full of sheep. And I was like, I could sit here and drink and smoke cigarettes and look at these sheep all day long.
You just described my new favorite bar. I would never leave.
It was great.
Every day, see the sheeps.
And there, everybody's like, oh, fucking sheep.
No, they're so cute.
And the other thing that cracks me up there is, we talked about it a little. When you go to like a Speedway or like a CVS and they have like pre-made sandwiches that have been sitting in a plastic container and the expiration date on them is like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
In England, they have racks and racks of fresh sandwiches and they're like $4 a piece and they are pole-caught tuna with cucumber sandwich,
Mm-hmm.
Italian prosciutto baguettes, free-range egg and mayo sandwiches, cucumber, tomato, and posh cheddar pickle baguette.
What the heck? You said like at the equivalent of like a 7-Eleven, they just have like deli-style fresh sandwiches. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, at a 7-Eleven, it's like salami on green bread.
Yeah. All of our sandwiches at those kind of places just look white. The bread's white, the meat's white, the vegetables are white. Everything's just fucking ice.
And don't read the ingredient list on those 7-Eleven sandwiches because it is nothing but chemicals. But if you read the ingredient sandwiches on the ones in England, it's like, it just says what the name of the sandwich is. It's like cucumber, tomatoes, and then it's like the bread, it says like flour, yeast, salt, water.
Yeah, you said you got like some kind of chips over there that we have here, like Pringles or some shit, and it was just like potatoes and salt. And over here would be like
25 different fucking preservatives.
Right? Disgusting shit that's not food and dyes and stuff that makes your beehole leak.
Oh, yes. And then I got, at some point, I think on Sunday, I started to get a cold and it has really hung on. It's not completely gone yet, but yeah, I was in bad way.
Yeah, when I finally did talk to you, your cough was fucking disgusting.
It was really gross.
I know. But yeah, we were supposed to do Mid-Michigan Paracon this past weekend and I knew you were fucking sick. And then somebody else that was on the event who had come home already was like, Tenney's really fucking sick. And I was like, all right, well, let me get ahead of this. And then I talked to you and you're like, nah, I can't. I'm like, I get it. Shit happens. So
there's no way I would have been able to do it. I apologize to everyone, but I got home. The first thing I did was like took a COVID test and it was negative.
Yeah.
And I think it was just new food and new water. I actually convinced myself at a certain point it was because I had spent a week not eating American made chemical food.
Yeah, honestly, maybe we're in like a detox.
Yeah, I think my body was like, oh shit, you're just going to eat food? Real food?
Weird.
I
know, and it's a bummer too. And again, apologies to people who went or were supposed to go or whatever. But like, I gave them as much notice as possible. I told them on the Tuesday that we wouldn't make it, and they didn't post it. And I feel like they did that on purpose and they just didn't tell anybody. And they were advertising the con up till the Friday and not telling people we weren't going to be there. So that was kind of shitty. So just, I want y'all to know that it wasn't our doing and Tenney really was sick. I didn't even know if you were, that was the thing too. I didn't even know if you were going to be able to fly back because I'm like, what kind of tests are they doing over there? Like, are they going to let him get on an airplane? Like, it did not sound great.
Also, let me just say this about that. Traveling internationally through Heathrow, they got that shit down.
Yeah.
There was no like huge lines to go through security. It was crazy. Even though I will tell you that the second day I was in England, we got a report that Heathrow closed down for a little while because they had a bomb threat.
Dang, that's scary.
That was scary. But going back and forth and through, super easy.
Well, that shooting in Maine happened while you were gone, didn't it?
Yes, and everyone in England wanted to talk to me about it, and everyone in England was shocked when I told them that I had received a gun for my 10th birthday, and they were like, why do you have so many guns in the United States?
Yeah. It's not great.
It's not great.
And as everyone can see, absolutely shit fucking has come from it. Nothing's gonna happen. Nobody cares. It's already, it's so dumb. This has happened so many times. Like this happened very close. Like a good friend of ours lives very close to where the shooting was. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, it's so weird around here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I remember that when in the shooting that my cousin was in. And then there was another one that was like 20 minutes from here. And I'm like, what am I even, like, it's so depressing that I have to talk about two different literal mass shootings that were within an hour of here and nothing fucking changes.
Meanwhile, I'm in England and they're talking about how they have to, as kids, one of the things that kids do is they try and figure out how to make fireworks because fireworks are illegal.
Yeah, you said, oh, they said that they have stabbings over there, which like is an issue. That's like not great, but still like you can't stab 50 people in 1 minute.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the thing here is very different and it's very yucky and it makes you not want to go anywhere. Like when people ask me to go to big crowded things, you really have to think about it. And that's so shitty. It didn't used to be like that.
No, it didn't.
But anyway, let's not talk about this. This is heavy. I don't want to be depressing.
Let's talk about, there were some pigeons that I made friends with at the Abbey who were big and fat.
Literal, could you think of a more perfect segue?
Some pigeons that I was friends with. And there was a cat at the Abbey that was walking around that I was friends with.
Cute.
Love the animals when I travel.
I fucking love pigeons and I don't like when people say they're flying rats or even seagulls. I'm like, they're fucking just vibing, bro.
Dude, these pigeons at the Abbey were totally vibing. They slept in the same place every day for 4 days, and I would talk to them in the morning when I had my cigarette, and they were big fatsos and just waddled around doing their thing, loving England.
Yeah, that's so cute. Animals are better than people.
They really are.
The other shitty thing that happened while you were gone is fucking Matthew Perry died, and I took it really hard.
I knew you would.
It's like my favorite show. I watch it every day, and I've watched it since he passed, and HBO put a little thing before the episodes, or before every season they do it where it says like dedicated to Matthew Perry, which is nice, but it fucking sucks. He was only 54, which is not old enough. I'm sure it was an accident. Fucking sucks. He's like I guess you didn't, I don't fucking know how people pick their favorite of the Friends or if anybody even cares, but it really seems like he was everybody's fucking favorite, which is really understandable.
I mean, I guess I was never a big Friends fan, you know that.
I know, but you put up with it for me.
I do.
I don't even know why I love it. I just do. It's just cozy. It's just on. Like me and you have talked about this a million times. Like me and you, are very busy or stressed out or something. And it's just nice to have something in the background where you know everybody's voice and you don't have to pay attention. That's all I'm looking for. I need to know without watching it intently that I know whatever the fuck. It's just cozy.
Yeah. Is there anybody that thinks Mom is a cozy show for them?
They better fucking not. Everybody who watches Mom, just figure your life out, bro. Just figure it out. Get medically tested because show is bad.
I understand your coziness. I understand everybody's coziness with shows. I don't understand if their cozy show is Mom.
No. Did you know? I think I did know this and then I forgot it and then I rediscovered it because they were talking about it. But did you know? And I don't even know how this happened or whatever the fuck. But Matthew Perry's stepdad was Keith Morrison from Dateline.
His stepdad?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I know. So this is really like Keith Morrison time, but I found found out he has a new podcast where he reads like spooky fiction stories. It's like he reads like Sleepy Hollow and all these cute like cozy stories in Keith Morrison voice. And then he has a new true crime podcast too, but there's like a more fictional one.
How weird would it be if Keith Morrison has to do like an investigative thing on Matthew Perry's death?
He better not. No, they can't. That'd be fucked up. I watched the cutest video. Who sent it to me? Katie sent it to me. What's that guy's name?
I couldn't begin to tell you how long ago I saw it. It's Bill Hader.
Yeah.
I wanted you to think it was a new thing because you had discovered it. I literally have seen that 3 or 4 years ago when they first did it.
I could watch that every day. It's so wholesome. This video you guys have to look up of Bill Hader meeting Keith Morrison, and they do it as a setup, and he's in the studio where they film Dateline, and they're like, oh, do this stuff, and then they have Keith Morrison come in the room, and Bill Hader can't even fucking function. He acts exactly how I would act if he walked in the room. He's like, this is my biggest celebrity sighting. I don't even know what to do right now. You're so fucking cool. Can we take a picture together? Like, and he knew like Dateline episodes like the back of his hand. He's like, oh, I remember this one. And then he quoted the lady in the Dateline episode. Like he's fully in.
The thing that's so funny to me when you watch it, because they're obviously setting Bill Hader up.
Yeah.
And the thing that's so funny is he is such a fan that I feel like when they brought him into the booth in the beginning of that clip,
yeah,
they're pretending to edit an episode.
Yeah.
But he's such a fan, he already knows that episode.
Oh, maybe. Well, yeah, he had said, he's like, I knew this was a setup. He's like, you guys have 4 cameras in this room. I knew what was going on, but still.
Yeah, I think part of them blowing the setup was not knowing that he actually knew every episode. And so they were like, just pretend we're editing an episode. And then they just used an old one. And he was like, oh, I know what that episode is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was so cute, though. He turned into like a literal child. And then he does a really good Keith Morrison impression. So he kept doing the voice to Keith Morrison.
That's very funny.
That's like one of my favorite videos ever watched. It's so cute.
He does that joke that he does in the clip. He's done it before on like Conan and Jimmy Fallon and stuff. And it is a really funny line. He always says he wanted Keith Morrison to say something like, so your dad shot you in the face. That must have been weird.
That's wild.
That's wild.
Oh, so cute. I love it. I'm jealous.
I feel like if I studied, I could get Keith Morrison's voice down.
Probably. Yeah, Bill Hader does it good, though.
He does. He's a very good impressionist. Have you ever watched Barry?
No.
I want to watch it because Henry Winkler's in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they win awards for that show. He always wins for that show.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited for award season. I got to go to a screening of Priscilla when you were gone. That's about all I did. But it was good. It's from Priscilla's point of view it's like based off her book, Elvis and Me. And it's directed by Sophia Coppola. And I was like worried that it was going to make Elvis look terrible because him starting to hang out with her that young was not a great thing to do. But they maintained that like no lines were crossed until she was 18. And they do stick to that in the movie. They don't like make it as weird as it could have been. But like they kind of show that like he was famous by then. So when she met him in Germany, they were like 2 Americans in Germany. They were both like displaced and missing home. And then they started hanging out. And he was famous. Like, what was she going to do? Not hang out with him? Like, she was intrigued. I don't know. I'm not trying to excuse anybody's fucking predatory behavior, but I don't fucking know. I don't want to talk about it, but it's an awkward topic. But the movie itself was very pretty. Like, the directing was so pretty. It was very dreamy. The costumes were so good. They had Priscilla change costumes like 100 times. And every time she came out, I was like, I want that outfit. I want that outfit. I want that jewelry. I want those shoes. Like, everything was so good. And I thought Jacob Elordi was going to be a really corny Elvis because he's just like a guy. He just comes off like a bro. I'm like, how is he going to be Elvis? But he did a really good job and he did the voice really good. So I don't know. And you know how Sophia Coppola uses like not period music. Like, she uses kind of current music. Yeah. And that was cute. That like made it more watchable. And then another thing I thought was cute was, you know, when this is like, and I'm sure that you hate this too, because I feel like it takes you out of the movie. So do you know when you're watching like a biographical movie and then there'll be somebody playing that person, but when they show like merch in the movie or records or like something, they'll show the real person. Yeah. And then all you're doing right now in this moment is telling me that your actor doesn't fucking look like them. It's so awkward. But in this movie, every piece of merch, every poster, every record, she put his face on it. It was so cute. It was such a good detail. I'm like, this is really cute.
I'll tell you what's really crazy to me. As someone who has worked in the design industry for many, many years, you can make a movie where like a guy has wings and is fighting a giant robot in outer space. And it looks really good. I have yet to see a movie that has been able to make a decent looking old newspaper article
Ugh.
using a new photograph.
It's so frustrating. Like in haunted movies, they'll be doing research. It looks like a literal piece of printer paper. Like no one aged this at all.
Like dip it in some tea, make it look old, have someone spend an hour in Photoshop, make not like someone's head just plastered on a real photograph, and it's like,
Yeah.
that looks
Yeah.
the worst.
The worst Photoshop and the worst like paper quality. Like
Yeah.
where that's new paper. That's not even, and then like the ink, they'll have made it like a weird shade of sepia, but it's not like old. Like what do you, that doesn't look old. You made a whole ass movie.
And then you used the font from like a 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, like a new ass paper, new ass piece of paper. Like what? It literally takes me out of a whole movie if they don't age photos and newspapers right. I fucking
I can't believe they still haven't figured it out. It's so crazy to me. I've seen major motion pictures where someone picks up a newspaper and it looks like garbage.
Yes, it's the worst. So somebody has to fix it. It's such a weird thing to be annoyed by, but I fucking hate it. But anyway, so yeah, they did really cute with like the promo materials in the movie, and it was pretty good. It's not the best. Another thing too is I feel like it would be so, and this should be obvious, but some people are stupid. But if you don't give one flying fuck about Elvis or Priscilla, the movie is going to be high key boring. Like it's pretty boring.
You reminded me of something.
What?
One of the other things, if you were to ever go to England or I was to ever go back, an extra suitcase, because I went into multiple English thrift stores and I could have like bought entire wardrobes. Their record section was ridiculous.
Oh my God.
The thrift store record section, and it's like, oh, Joy Division, The Smiths, like just flipping through like albums that would cost me here $40 or $50. And it's like,
did you get any?
I didn't have any room to pack anything.
Oh my God. All right, everybody bring an extra suitcase. But I watched a few more things, but I'll just talk about a few more things. There's a new horror movie called Suitable Flesh that me and Katie waited for months and months and months. And we wanted to love it and we did not love it. I didn't love it. It's not that great. It's cheesy. It's cheesy on purpose. They try to make it into like an 80s / like a weird soap opera type movie, but it's not enough over. It doesn't work. It's not good. I didn't like it. And then I watched When Evil Lurks, which is a Spanish horror movie by the same guy who made Terrified, which is like one of my favorite horror movies of the last few years. I don't even remember when it came out. It's sometime in the last like 6 years, but I love it. And he has a new movie that I've been waiting for forever, and it's really fucking good. And that he pulled off a couple really creepy things in it. I loved it. That's When Evil Lurks. It's on Shudder currently. And I watched Sister Death, which is another Spanish horror movie, which is a prequel to the movie Veronica, which is another Spanish horror movie that I loved. It's like Ouija board based, and then this one is like one of the side characters, like their backstory, and it was really good and really creepy. I really liked it. And it's gorgeous. This director makes everything look so fucking good. And then the last thing I watched in the last couple of days was this new true crime docuseries on Netflix called Till Murder Do Us Part, Suring versus Haysom, which is like a murder story from 1989 in Virginia, where apparently this weird couple killed the girl's parents so they could be together, but then it gets all messy, and it was actually really fucking good. So there's some screwed up stuff for you guys to watch.
You know what was really weird? I watched a little bit of television when I was in England, and it was very strange because I've watched so much English television my whole life. It was strange to just turn on normal television and like, oh, Doctor Who is on. Flip the channel. Oh, The Repair Shop is on. Flip the channel. Oh, the British Antiques Roadshow. It's crazy to flip through channels and all the stuff on, oh, and Midsummer Murder is on. And like flipping it and being like, oh, this is English television.
Yeah, it's everything you watch.
Yeah. And then there was one channel that was called like Legends or something like that. And it was all American shows, but it was $6 Million Man, Star Trek, and like cowboy movies.
Nice.
It was kind of cute.
It's cute. Wait, there's another baby thing that I had to tell you. Little tiny Bigfoot news. You know Salt Fork State Park in Ohio?
Yes.
Notorious Bigfoot hotspot.
Yes.
They are becoming the first state park to build a Bigfoot themed visitor center, and it's under construction now.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that so cute?
Very cute.
I can't wait to go there. I hope they have an opening and we can go or something.
Very cute.
I'm sure they don't think that people care that much, but
Now pass a federal law protecting Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So that nobody shoots them.
Start it. Even as a joke, it'll be cute. That'll be like our thing that we did as a podcast.
There's a couple states that have tried to do it.
Well, we didn't want a national one.
We could get one in Michigan. We could probably pass one in Michigan.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Protect the Bigfoot and the melons.
Yeah, and the melon heads. Don't shoot a melon. Don't shoot a dog man. Don't shoot a troll. And then another funny thing I heard. Remember when we talked about the Dick Tower in Ypsilanti that looks like it's a water tower, but it looks like a penis? My favorite crystal store, World of Rocks in Ypsi, they're currently selling tiny crystal versions of the Dick Tower made out of crystal.
Are you going to get one?
I don't know. I kind of need one.
How big are these crystal dicks they're making?
I don't know. Listen, I was hoping they would only be like a little 1.5-inch little guy, but they look they look like they might be like 4 inches tall. From the picture, I'm like, I don't really need a giant tower, crystal Dick Tower.
People come over your house and see it and think that you're doing weird stuff.
Why do you have a crystal version of the water tower in Ypsilanti? That looks
Be like, why you got a crystal dick on your shelf?
I don't know.
What is going on in here?
I'm sure a lot of people have crystal dicks on their shelf.
There are people that are fucking themselves with crystal dicks for sure, 100%.
Yes.
There was a conversation about that earlier because, like, a couple of years ago, because someone was selling like dildos made out of selenite.
Yeah, well, that makes me sick to think about. But there's like rose quartz ones, but you're still not supposed to put any. Don't do that.
No, can you imagine selenite though?
No, that don't even make no sense.
Ugh.
Selenite is jagged.
Yikes.
I really can't. And then another cute thing that I heard while you were gone was there's a new iPhone update. And in your iPhone photo album, there's a thing that started a while back where like it separates everybody you know into little sections. So there'll be little bubbles and it'll be like all my pictures with you, all my pictures with, well, I don't have that many other friends, but it'll show like the different people in your photo book. So in the new iPhone update, iOS 17, they made a thing because you could always go in the photo album and search like dog and it would show you every fucking dog in your thing, or like horse and it would show you all the horses in your thing. But now I guess in the people section, it separates all of your pets into individual like people, like they're your friends, like they're real separate people, which is so fucking cute.
That's very cute.
I know they are separate people.
I'm not going to be able to do that on my landline.
Well, I literally can't wait till you get one. I just need you to have one, like an old lady. Oh yeah, I think that's about it. Next week we're going to an advanced screening of the new slasher by Eli Roth called Thanksgiving, and the trailer is actually really good, and I'm really excited to see it. So we're going to an advanced screening, and then I'm going to see Saltburn again without you because you're going to be on A Strange Escape, so I get to go to Saltburn and see it again and watch Barry Keoghan for 2 hours again. And we're also going to Comic-Con this weekend, Motor City Comic-Con, the fall edition.
Yeah, we'll record after Motor City Comic Con.
Yeah, we'll have
but then we'll have to record again. We'll release like a 2-in-1 episode.
Yeah, we're like behind. We owe you guys more episodes because I had surgery, Tenney had trips, Tenney got sick. We got to get back on schedule.
We'll get back on schedule.
No. And then we also, another thing I know I've said it already, but we have a YouTube What's Up Weirdo and Friends live show on November 24th, sometime in the evening, probably start at like 6 or 7. It'll be free on YouTube, and then we'll do a Patreon only after show. And I know of one giveaway I have for that.
Have you talked to any magical special guests for the?
I haven't. Listen, you guys, on our past live shows, we've had really good special guests, like in different areas, like movie people, paranormal people, occult people. So they're always very different and cool. And good conversations are had. We didn't invite anybody yet because I've been busy. So.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Jesus.
There it was.
Gross. Bad. Oh my God, bro. You always complain because I'm like a very sniffly person. Like, I have bad allergies and you always have to edit out my sniffles. And
so many sniffs.
I know. I was kind of excited to record this because I'm like, good. Now you're going to have to edit your. Oh my God.
You can hear it. It's down in the lungs.
Yeah, it sounds bad. I was already saying, like, before you were even home, I was like, if this doesn't clear up soon, I'm going to make you go to the doctor because.
At least I'm not coughing up like peanut butter anymore.
Ew. Did you at least get holed up on smoking a little bit while this time you were sick?
Yes.
Okay, good.
By the way, everyone in England smokes, but they roll their own cigarettes because cigarettes are $20 a pack.
Yeah, because they don't want you to be doing stuff that's bad for you there.
Yeah.
Can't have sugary cereal, can't have mashed potatoes. Well, fake mashed potatoes. You can have real mashed potatoes over there.
Yep.
Can't have bread at Subway because it's essentially a donut.
That is really true.
Yeah.
I think that's all I got. Now that this coughing's going to start.
All right, we're going to go. Jeez. All right. We love you guys. We'll be back soon. Thanks for waiting for us.
Thanks, everybody, for all the well wishes and kind things and nice things everybody said during my trip, and everybody writing my obituary when Jessica said I was sick.
I said in our Patreon that we couldn't make it to mid-mish and that Tenney was sick and to send some good juju. And then people went to Twitter where I was like, sending Tenney prayers. And people were like, is he dead? What happened? I'm like, yo.
R.I.P. Tenney.
I know. I'm like, he's fucking sick. He's not dead. Like, let's just rein it in a little.
But I appreciate it.
But yeah, it was very nice for everybody.
I love you all.
We love everybody.
We do love everybody.
We love everybody.
I love you, buddy.
I love you, buddy. I missed you when you were gone.
I missed you too.
We just need a private jet so we can go. I just can't go over there. Like, that's the thing is, y'all, I could have went. I literally could have went on this trip with you, but it's physically impossible for me to leave my dog for 2 weeks. I can't do it. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just leave? No.
I don't know how Toad would do for 7 hours on a plane.
No, but they have a new Canine Airlines where you can fly with your dog, and it's like a PJ, and it's like the whole inside, it looks like a living room, and you just hang out with your dog. He would be fine like that, but it's really expensive. So if anybody's rich and they want to fly me and Toad and Tenney to England on the Canine Airlines, just let me know.
Yeah, that'll happen.
It could.
It's not going to happen.
You don't know who's listening to this.
Who do you think is listening to this that has that? Do you think Elon Musk is listening to this?
No, he would hate everything that we talk about.
Nah, I love it. I love that he would hate this.
Ditto. Big hot ditto. Look, that guy. He looks like he's made out of Play-Doh.
The worst.
Disgusting. Okay, we're out.
That's how we end it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.